That's why I always say, like, who are the people that you really know that you want to sit at the table? That's where I always say is the best place to start, because a lot of the traditional businesses, they have that. They have people that love and trust them. So I always say feed those people first.
Welcome to the Business Builder Throwdown.
That's why people call me. They're like, what do I do?
First of all, how are you reading my mind?
Go, go, go. With your hosts, Holly Jean Jackson and Matt Rouse. And moderator and referee, D. Scott Smith.
Yay!
Ow.
Hey, it is Wednesday. Welcome to the Business Builders Throwdown. I am D. Scott, and we've got a guest today. Shaily, we're going to introduce you in just a moment. And Coach Holly Jean Jackson is throwing off the coach robe to jump into the square circle against her opponent, Matthew Rouse. And we are going to have some good time today. I am your motivational listener, D. Scott Smith. I get to moderate this and in just a moment. But Holly, let's have you go ahead and introduce yourself. Who are you and what's going on in your world?
Yeah, so this is Holly Jean Jackson, your holistic business coach. I help health and wellness business owners and entrepreneurs build and scale their business online. And
all right, Matthew, let's hear what's going on in your world, and let's check out that shirt. Give us a good view.
Nice. You're going to get the whole... it's my Canadian superhero shirt. Da, 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 da.
You look really, really hot.
I help businesses with done-for-you marketing services. I'm also the author of Start Saying Yes and the author of Flattening the Hamster Wheel, the author of Crush SEO, and the host of Digital Marketing Masters podcast.
So with that, let's move over to Shaily and tell us who you are and what's going on in your world.
Ooh, hi everybody. Thank you everyone for having me. Matt and I did a show together many moons ago and it was such a blast. I am Shaily from yoursocialmediasherpa.com. I am the bridge, the translator between your social media team, your sales team, and the business owner, because you, the business owner, know you get your business by referral and people know, love, and trust you, but you're probably neglecting keeping in touch with your referral network. So I help you stay top of mind to remind your network that you are the expert at the thing that you're the expert in. And I do that through one-on-one learning sessions together. You can learn more about me at yoursocialmediasherpa.com, where you can also grab my favorite LinkedIn profiles to help showcase your awesome online.
Today's subject, speaking of growing your business and getting more customers, many people have heard about social media.
Instagram is about creating jealousy through a fake life, then measuring said jealousy in likes and comments.
And is social media the right tool to actually build your business? Can you build a business with social media, given all the changes? And now it's a pay to play, and Apple has changed all of its privacy. And so marketers have been freaking out. I think that's the technical term, freaking out. So. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Holly, because as we get into this, I want to know what should we be doing to build our business?
Well, first of all, I feel super intimidated because I have 2 against 1 today. So fans out there, raise your glasses and send me some good energy. So I'm not saying social media doesn't work, but I am advocating for the fact that you need to do a lot more than social media. And there are other avenues, especially when you're getting started, that I think can be more effective right away. So a couple of those are using stages, and even during COVID and the pandemic, these can be online stages. They're a very, very effective way to grow your email list and turn somebody who was a cold lead into a warm lead, have that conversation and make them a client. And also, we on the last episode, BNI 1, we also discussed how networking and building that relationship is crucial. So face-to-face meetings, networking opportunities, investing in finding the best networking group or referral-based group for you is also extremely effective. So that's the case I'm fighting for today versus social media and the other two ninjas on the other side of the screen.
When you say stages, what do you mean by stages?
Yeah, that's a great question. So a stage can be a lot of different things. So you could have like a fancy stage, like a TED Talk. You could be a speaker at a conference. You could even, if you're just getting started, it's much easier to host a workshop for a breakout room at a conference. That's a great place to start. Or you can partner with your local chamber, like I have on the West Coast, and do talks for their members. That way they're co-marketing your stuff, you're growing, you're building a following. And I literally just got a call the other day for a speaking opportunity from a referral from the Chamber of Commerce.
All right. So my heart resonates with the referral business. And I know that Stages is just one of many tools that you're able to employ as we look at what you can do instead of social media. But with social media, Matthew, what do we mean by social media? What do we mean by doing social media?
Social media is a pretty broad term that encompasses a lot of different software applications that you can use to network with other people. And at its base, it's really just a communication system. However, they've become so advanced, and there's so many different ones now, that it is the preferred communication tool of most of the people on the planet. And if you want to reach people, they are most likely on at least one social media platform, if not more. And social media platforms can do everything from kind of your Twitter, where you're just, short text, kind of microblogging type stuff, professional network like LinkedIn. You've got video networks like TikTok. You've got audio networks like Clubhouse. And then you've got the big ones, your Facebook, Instagram, where they've got multiple features, including video, recorded video, live video, video chat. They've also got voice chat. They've got places for you to put videos in, 3-dimensional videos, AR, virtual reality, all of these things built in. So you really have everything from sending someone a quick text message to full-blown virtual stages that you can be on through a social media platform.
All right, so social media is very broad. We know there's more than 7 billion people on the planet, which is a lot of people. And we obviously don't want to target all of them because, well, I had a client that called me in one time, and I was reviewing a marketing plan that they had paid a lot of money for. They were working on a personal self-defense item for women joggers. And the marketer that they paid to do their business plan starts off with saying their target market was the 3.5 billion women on the planet. And so, Shaila, I would like to start with, come over to you and ask you, when we're talking about social media and there's all these different platforms, it seems like we can be overwhelmed really easy. So
that's why people call me. They're like, what do I do? I have too many choices.
What are we going to do?
So here's the maybe controversial answer here, because we are in the throwdown, right?
It's the throwdown.
So I love that Matthew and I share this, is that we get the marketing world, but we also get entrepreneurs, just because I know him and I've known him for a while. Here's where a lot of marketers, I think, miss the boat, is that they think about it in terms of marketing as a skill. But when we think of the dozens and hundreds and thousands of entrepreneurs who are building their business, who already have a great referral network, they don't need to learn social media the way a marketer learns social media. Because I know, and you all know, that email marketing is amazing and it is what is necessary. I just told my cousin who broke 200,000 on TikTok to get on emails. He had no idea that was a thing, right? the barrier for someone to get to the point where they understand how valuable speaking engagements are and email lists are, they're not there yet. And that's where I like to break it down and just get really narrow, that for a lot of these entrepreneurs and the BNI crowd, if they're here, right? I know we have some BNI love in here. This is where I developed my business, was in a BNI, was that they have something that is already huge, is that we're not trying to find these magical people that have never heard of us before. They have a network, they have an audience of people that already loves them, but they're not speaking to them. I just had a client, insurance agent, tons of people connected to her on LinkedIn, but she's never posted anything. She's already got a huge pool of warm leads, but she's never put a thing down. So for them, that's where I say social media is their first starting point before they even realize that email marketing is a godsend. So that's what I always say. How do we break it down for where these entrepreneurs are?
How are we going to grow our business if we're not on social media, if we're not doing TikTok videos, not doing Snapchat ads? What should we be doing?
Yeah, so, well, I mean, they just mentioned email marketing and growing your list and all of that. And I would argue a lot of my clients, there's more of a barrier of resistance to social media versus other outlets. And so I coach a lot of people that are new entrepreneurs, or they're, pretty seasoned, trying to grow their business to that next level. So I noticed they have more resistance to that. So for people that are not feeling the social media vibe, and they have so much resistance to that, which, obviously we try to push them out of that. I think email marketing is great, and using your website, using ads to target your specific niche. There are a lot of different ways you can reach people outside of social media. And again, social media is valuable, but it's one piece of the puzzle. And if you're using social media not to build your list, what is the point? Obviously you can share information about you, but the business value of that is gaining that list. And as one of our future guests, Yifat Kohan, will say, you do not want to build your list on somebody else's platform. So you want to own that information. So the danger with social media, from my opinion, and the strongest thing I can say against social media, is we don't own those platforms. So guess what? That could go away tomorrow. Facebook could change their algorithm. They could change the requirements tomorrow, and people that their whole business relies on these social media avenues have no outlet. So my point is, diversification is so crucial. And I think we learned that during the pandemic. People that were only relying on face-to-face or retail had to shift and pivot in a really major way. And now we're seeing it even in the digital age. You have to do this even more than we thought before.
I don't like how meta this is getting, Rick.
Okay, Matt, so here's the deal. I start a business
So Scott,
profile.
before you go any further, wait.
What, you gonna throw down? What's up?
I got a special surprise for the throwdown today. I pre-recorded it before we start because I knew what Holly was gonna say. But I'm
How did you know what I was gonna say?
It's Matt here from the past. I wanted to shoot this video because I'm sure that Holly is going to bring up the idea that on social media you're kind of building your house on rented land. However, once you use social media to create a customer, then that customer will be in your CRM system or on your website. So you will have already got that data about the customer. So even if something were to happen to your social media account, you would have already acquired that customer data.
Maxwell got rocked.
First of all,
And
how are you reading my mind?
it's Matt. He's gonna come out fighting.
I feel like we're on an episode of The Flash, and you just went back in time or something.
That's right. I used my super Canadian power.
And did you notice that he's got understanding social statistics right next to his book of William Shakespeare?
That's right.
This is a well-read, very intellectual man. So that's what you get here on the Throwdown. So I'm going to let Holly respond right now. Matt has had his say.
Well, here's the mistake. The reality is that especially people that are just getting started, they're not collecting it. Like, in fact, the number one tool that most business owners do not have, and this is blasphemy, is a freaking CRM. Are you kidding me? you are leaving money on the table. You're not managing a relationship. So guess what? Business Builder 101 is get a freaking CRM. And regardless of how you're marketing, if it's social media, if it's stages, if you're capturing emails, whatever you're doing, capture those freaking things in a CRM. Otherwise, what are you doing? You're wasting time. So yes, Matt, that is true, but diversification is still really important. And that's why you can't just rely on one platform or one strategy like social media.
Always knew someday you'd come walking back through my door.
All right, so
Interesting.
Here we go. Shaily, I'm going to give you just this in a moment here because I'm watching you. You're listening.
No,
like
it's you know
like
what it
ready
is?
to roll.
It's the barrier to entry. That's it. I just want to say all of these things are, Holly, you're 100% right on every one of these things. But if you're brand new, I don't think the first thing in their mind is CRM. They don't even know how to get clients yet. They don't even know how to do sales yet. So I don't think they're on the radar for CRM, but you were totally right. They should. I will say I didn't get one till a few years ago, so I'm a little behind too. But that's what it is that I want to emphasize it. Depending on the kind of entrepreneur we're talking to in this show, is that the first thing they're going to think about? We all know it's great, but they have to start somewhere. So that's what I'm emphasizing here, is that their place to start? Yes, all that stuff is true, but where do they start?
Because I think chapter 1 of Holly's book is going to be get a freaking CRM.
Yes, it is. Thank you for helping me write that. And I mean, to add on to that, I coach a lot of brand new entrepreneurs and business owners, and I would say their biggest resistance is social media. So maybe we're working with a very different demographic of entrepreneurs, but that is where I'm seeing more resistance. And when I explain to them the concept of a CRM and using networking and using stages, that is much easier for them to comprehend. Now, it depends on each client, but I would say 95% of my clients, they're like, I don't want to be on social.
All right, so
it's totally okay.
This is we're going to come back to
The right
Matthew
place
on
for
this
everybody.
because Holly is saying get a freaking CRM, and Matthew, here's the deal. I start a business page on Facebook or a business account on Instagram or a LinkedIn profile, and I start with 0. I have 0 followers, 0 fans, 0 connections. But this is social media. And I put out great content, but I have 0. How do I get people so I can put them into my freaking CRM?
What Holly said, just get them on a stage.
That's right. That's right. You could do that, but that's not the first thing people do, right? You don't go, okay, I've opened this new freelance business. Let me be on the TEDx stage and let me tell you guys all about all the stuff you should be doing, right? Because you have no experience. You basically have no credentials. You don't have any clout, right? You haven't built any authority yet. You haven't built any trust with anyone yet. And you know what's great for building those things? Social media. So, let me tell you.
But I have nobody to listen to it.
You will, though. You will. So, if you are starting a business and you're a freelancer, the first thing that I would do is get on LinkedIn.
Tell me, young
The second thing that I would do on LinkedIn is I would make sure I fill out the entire profile from top to bottom that targets the information that my perfect client wants to read, not what I want to tell them. I can see some cheering over here on the side. That's right. And then the third thing that I would do is I would make a list of who all the perfect clients that I can imagine that I would want, like who I need to contact, who is the decision maker, who is the contact person for these businesses or individuals that I want to reach out to. And then I would just go on LinkedIn and I would hit the connect button with them. And honestly, for the most part, I wouldn't even put in a message or anything. But what I would want to do, I missed one step in there. The first thing I would want to do before I connect to them, look them up and see if any of them are connected to anyone that I already know, right? So, I mean, honestly, most people are not starting from like 0, maybe 0 clients, but you get your friends and your family members and stuff, you connect with them. You see if they know anyone who's on the list that you're trying to reach out to. And then we use Holly's plan from a previous episode, and we go with direct messaging through LinkedIn to reach out to those people. because we're starting out, right? If I had a whole bunch of time to put into it and I got, I've got the next 6 months to do it, I would start with content. But what I would actually do is start with some content to get started, but then I would be doing direct outreach and trying to get a warm handoff from someone I know to someone who's my perfect client.
All right. So back in the late 70s, Steve Martin was giving business advice on how to become a millionaire and not pay taxes. His advice was, first, get $1 million. Then don't pay your taxes. So, Matt, or Holly, I want to let you address this. So, how are we going to get onto stages? How are we going to get these customers on our profile to understand how trustworthy we are?
Well, first of all, I would kind of make the same argument that Matt just made of, building credibility and you're new and all of that. You can do that with stages too. And in fact, I find people are less resistant to that, and you don't have to call it a stage. It could be a talk that you're doing for a small group. There's all kinds of opportunities. It could be just speaking at a networking group, etc. And it's interesting when they were saying, oh, do this with your LinkedIn profile. They make it sound so easy, but most people that are getting started don't know who their ideal client is. They don't know exactly what they're doing. They aren't necessarily very good at content. They don't know their beginner story. They're brand new to all of this, so they're still figuring that out. So again, I would kind of make the same argument that there's a barrier to entry either way, and you're still learning as you go on either side of the coin. Now, in terms of getting on a stage, if you have a topic that you're really passionate about that's related to your business and you know enough about it, so something you could speak to intelligently for 30 to 60 minutes comfortably, then you figure out a catchy title for that. You start, looking at the people in the networks around you and offer a free talk, and you start building your list that way. You share your knowledge that way. And again, I'm not just saying stages is the only way. Like that would be saying, social media is the only way, which is what we're advocating for on the show here. I am saying there are stages, there are sales funnels, there are copywriters, there are people that are experts on strategy. There are people that work on landing corporate accounts and gigs for big companies and freelancers. There are a million other things outside of social media that you can do that can work for your business.
So there's a number of things to do. I was just thinking about, as you're talking about knowing your customer, I was scheduling a call with a lady who has a podcast that she wanted to promote. And I asked her what was the topic and who was her audience. And she talked about a lot of issues about children growing up and moving out of the house and these different types of changes. And she told me her audience was everyone who listens to podcasts between 18 and 70 plus. Yeah. And Shaily, I know I see you shaking your head there. Please.
Oh, no. I mean, you have to know who you're talking to.
Correct that.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if I can correct that too.
But tell us in general. Tell us in general about knowing your audience.
Oh, you know what? But here's the other part of this, right? Like we were just talking about starting from zero. Like, gosh darn it, I hope people listening to this are not starting from zero. And I don't even know if they're calling us if they're starting from zero. But it's funny. Like people are like, I want to do this thing, but they don't even know who they're talking to. That's why I always say, like, who are the people that you really know that you want to sit at the table? That's where I always say is the best place to start. Because a lot of the traditional businesses, they have that. They have people that love and trust them. So I always say feed those people first before you're hoping the magical unicorns fall from the sky, which we all know that's not how it works. So that's what I want to say to that. For sure.
Wouldn't it be great if magical unicorns did fall from the sky? I'm just saying, like, let's just put that out there.
As long as they didn't come point first, that would be
touche.
Probably good. Yeah. So
I have a addition onto that.
Awesome.
Talking about magical unicorns falling from the sky.
Okay.
You know how you make magical unicorns fall from the sky?
Years of hard work. I don't know.
Social media.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Anyways, that was a freaking layup.
If you get really, really good at your content and your delivery of your content, I'm talking about you are excellent at storytelling You're excellent at making imagery that helps make you stand out, or video that makes you stand out, or, once you have some experience and you've done some stuff, if you ever look at some content, like one of our future guests, Ryan Hanley makes excellent social media video content, built a massive insurance business just around social media video. There's lots of ways that you can create content that over time kind of has that snowball effect, and then eventually someone will, who follows along with your content and sees that stuff, will come out and talk to you and say, hey, you know what, I've been watching your show, I've been watching your videos, I've been reading your content, whatever that content is there, and they can say, hey, you know what, they just send you a DM out of the blue and say, do you want to set up a meeting, do you want to have a chat? That stuff happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens when you've refined your content. You don't come out of the gate and say, hey, Holly, you want to have a show where we argue with each other about business tactics? And then the next day you're like, okay, and I got guests and I got distribution and we got all these connections.
But
right?
How do you become good at storytelling? That would be stages, podcast interviews, having conversations.
All right.
Just
All right. Here we go.
I know, I like all of this.
We're winding down the.
Are we winding down?
The throwdown here, and so Shaily, we're gonna have you give a final bit.
Final
Holly,
bit.
Matthew, and then we're gonna come back to Shaily again, and then we're gonna decide.
Ooh. Oh, am I deciding? No, you decide? I don't even know.
I get to decide.
Okay, cool.
I'm the moderator, but I will take your input into consideration. But give us your final thoughts here.
Final thought. Here it is. So one of the perks of social media that does not happen as easily with email marketing, as much as we like to try, is that stuff lives on. Is that if someone wants to stalk me, let's say right now, they can see my old LinkedIn post from like the last 2 years, and they can get tons of insights. With email marketing, it's not always the same. Yeah, you can recycle stuff or whatever, but I wanted to put that out there. And it's also like social media is a low barrier like alternative to a website, because some people, again, don't have a website and they just haven't figured that part out yet. And it's a much lower barrier to entry to figure out because we see it all the time. It's not as hidden as some other options. The other thing I wanted to say, we were talking before about making these videos or making great content, awesome stuff, but the reality is most people are not going to be interesting on social media. Their content's going to be boring. But what does work, and what I tell people all the time, is when you have a network that loves and adores you, when they see your name, they say, oh my gosh, Matthew, I love Matthew. I want to see what he's posting, because you have a relationship with them. Even if your stuff isn't perfect, if you can answer questions that your clients are anticipating, or that before your clients even ask you, that's the magic of social media when you're not perfect and you're not super polished, is that you can answer the questions before they even reach out to you and build that relationship up that way. So I do love that.
All right, Matthew, give us your final follow on, because Shaily, you had some great comments there, great closing statements. Matt, wind it up.
There's still not as many people meeting in person, and if you want to get FaceTime with someone, this is how you get FaceTime with them, right? You can literally be face-to-face with someone through social media. Studies have shown when you show people, the original study was actually done with houses in the real estate world. If you show someone a house on a phone or a tablet, they estimate that it's worth more than when they see it on a computer screen or on a piece of paper. Because it's in your hand, people's phones are an extension of their person. It's with them everywhere they go, and you don't get the same kind of connection, even though it's on your phone reading from an email or something. You get it with those pictures and photos, and then reading what goes along with it, and that has something that clicks in people's brains. That is why social media is so powerful and why it's so popular, and also why it's the platform of choice for people to spread misinformation, which is obviously the negative side of social media. But the reason that they all use it is because it's so effective.
So I have 7 points I would like to make. One, on a previous episode, we talked about Google My Business. It's free. It's super easy to set up. People can find you. It lives on forever. To Shaily's point of social media, that lives on forever.
True.
It's super easy. Also, they give you a free website. That's point number 2. So it's not hard to set up your website, and it costs $0. 3, there are PR things you can do to land things with Help a Reporter out to get your name out there so that, again, it's living on forever. 4, you can utilize podcasts. People that are not comfortable with content, want to experience storytelling, want to see what is resonating and see when people lean in, because that's telling you that they're actually captivated by your message. 5, stages are effective. If you have a message that's important and worth sharing that's tied to your business, get out there and do it. 6, yes, the phone is effective. There is an old school way to do this. We were actually posting back and forth on LinkedIn about how heavy the receiver of the phone is back in the day. Well, guess what? Your cell phone is not very heavy. So the people you already know, like, and trust, pick up the phone and call them. Send them a text voice message. If they're ideal clients, start doing some beta marketing. Ask them if they want to work with you. And my last point is get a freaking CRM.
All right. All right. The first and the last as we come that. Shaily, tell me, now that we've actually got a summary from Holly and as well as Matt. There's my clock again. All right. So
this has to be controversial. When in business do we like straight up say, I like this better on public internet, television,
right
whatever
now,
you want to call it?
In the throwdown, we require it.
I love the speaking. The public speaking thing has been great for me too. All of this, I love all of this. I think they both had really, really good points. I think the point is start where you got. I always say start where you got the meat, where you've got the attention, and then build out from there. So that can go along with both of their points. That's the aspect that wins from both of their arguments. Can I say that? Can I be Switzerland here?
Yeah. We
He doesn't like that. He's like, we need an answer.
Scott is like, man, that means I have to.
So in today's Business Builder Throwdown, we're talking about social media. We're talking about all the other things that you can do to build your business. And neither one of them is going to be easy. They're both going to take a lot of work and energy. And again, I always recommend that you hire a professional to help you with this.
I love that. That's a good
media
statement.
or all the other things. I'm going to go with all the other things. Social media is a great tool, but it's still going to come down to you have to know your customer and you have to be where they are. And
that right there.
Many people you can get to face. You can call them on the phone, which is not social media. You can reach out and connect to so many people on different platforms, but you have to go with what's comfortable for you. Then get your social media to, if you will, record your proof so that people can find you, because if it's important to them, it's important to them. And if it's important to your customers, it's important to you. All right, that's the Business Builder Throwdown for this week with our guest Shaily of yoursocialmediasherpa.com. Make sure and reach out and talk to her.
I don't like how meta this is getting, Rick.
If you are feeling lost, confused, or overwhelmed, please do reach out to somebody on this show or somebody that you trust that you know is very good at what they do in business, because you do not need to do it alone.
Shaily, why don't you tell us how people can get a hold of you?
Oh, you can find me at yoursocialmediasherpa.com, where again, you can get all of my favorite LinkedIn profiles to inspire how you talk about yourself and your work.
And with that, have a fabulous week.
Thank you
Bye, everybody.
for having me. Bye.
I got for you that I wanted to show you.
What
ready?
did you do? Oh God, what did you do? I'm so. What is this? Oh my God.
Hi, Shaily.
What?
Rouse would like me to send you the hugest, largest, most phenomenal thank you for being on the Social Media Throwdown show and for being the most awesome person to work with. I hear you're a lifelong survivor like me. You a day winner. I hear your survivor hobby changed your life. Mine too. You must be phenomenal. And Matt Rouse just wants to appreciate it. So thank you, Matt.
Whoa. I'm speechless.
I was like, what is happening? I'm like hanging on the cliff here. Like, what is he going to say?
All right, so let's come down and Shaily, tell us who is going to be today's winner.
I don't get to close? Like,
Matthew?
what?
Oh, yeah.
What is
Yeah.
happening?
Well, we get to
Are
have
you
all-
freaking kidding me right now?
Scott
Okay.
just lost, I
Yeah.
think. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it looks like I've already
And
lost.
introducing Holly Jean Jackson. So,
Business
in today's
supervision
Business Builder Throwdown
is required. And get a CRM.
A freaking CRM.
That's right.
And thank you, Shaily, for being an awesome co-survivor lifelong fan.
Oh my god! Oh my god! What?
So thanks for being on the show with me. I had to like coax you into here so I could see your reaction.